consistent. While one chapter of Adam's life is soon coming to a close, he cannot be more excited for what the future holds. He will always attribute much of what he achieves in life to his time here at BYU on and off the pitch. Now on to Griffin Garcia. Griffin is son to Mike and Sue Garcia and the youngest of 4 kids. He grew up in Virginia and Texas before moving to Utah before his freshman year. In Utah, he played for Sparta alongside several other of his BYU teammates, winning several state championships along the way. He attended Lone Peak High School and graduated in 2016. He has played with BYU soccer for the last 3 years, and before that, 1 season at BYU Hawaii before serving his mission with Adam in Lima, Peru. Griffin will be graduating in April with a degree in finance. After graduation, he plans on traveling Europe before moving to New York City, where he will start his career with a financial advisory company. He has loved his time with BYU soccer and couldn't have asked for a better college experience. Now let's hear it for our seniors one last time, Cougar fans. And now please rise and remove your hats for the playing of the national anthem. Oh yeah, we gotta hop on this one. Sounds good, yeah, whenever you're good, we'll start. Well, welcome BYU Cougar fans tuning into this live stream broadcast on this beautiful Friday evening here from Southfield in Provo, Utah. It is warm, it is brisk, and it's a beautiful night for Friday soccer as we see the Brigham Young University Cougars take on Westminster College in this final feature of the spring season for BYU. I'm joined here myself, Grant Drevis, with my esteemed colleague Andrew Dossett. Andrew, what are your thoughts? What are you looking forward to for tonight?
I'm really looking forward to this, Grant. It's going to be one heck of a night. BYU coming off of a tough result, 1-1 just this last week, and so obviously that was a little disappointing for them. But let's see if they can bounce back, see how they respond. This is in times of adversity, how you take a result like that and move forward. That's something that you're going to want to do, something that you're going to want to see how we react. And let's hope that BYU does pull out on top tonight.
Yeah, we had a 1-1 draw, I believe, against Snow College in our last game. Disappointing, and in the words of Brother Lasso, if God wanted games to end in a tie, he wouldn't have invented numbers. But here we go. As Cougars kick off our starting 11, we have Tag Wilson in goal. Going from the right to left, Nate Mumford at right back, Adam Canfield, Griff Garcia, the two departing captains who were honored just in the pregame festivities on this senior night, with Jackson Henley on the left, Ben Gonzalez, Caleb Meyer, Ben Fankhauser in the middle, with Eli Holmstead, Carter Olson, and Eric Morris up top. We are going to see, we see here, Andrew and those watching, a Cougars lineup that is absent with the graduations of Michael, of Bain, and also of Big Mike Anderson. So Christian Bain and Mike Anderson are not here, so that's something that I know Coach Gillum has talked to me about in the spring season, in the summer, in the preseason ahead of fall, and also the fall season. They're going to have to figure out where those goals come from as a cross is attempted by Fankhauser into the mixer.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely going to be, somewhat of a rebuilding year. I say somewhat because one really great thing about this upcoming season, we still have our three core center midfielders from last year. So that's Ben Gonzalez, Ben Fankhauser, and Caleb Meyer, who played the majority of minutes last year in those spots. So that's a good thing for the Cougars going forward this year. Obviously, we still, our top goal scorers, with the exception of Big Mike Anderson, Eli Holmstead still here. Carter Olson showed a very great showing last year. Eric Morris, actually, he also had some moments of very good promise. So really looking forward to see how Eric especially will develop into the program and become a great player.
No, absolutely, and I think this is, to your point earlier, a great test for us tonight. Not being afforded the ability to play at a high level, but we demonstrate and show the quality that we can stick around with these guys. So it's great to be playing against a top division team within the NCAA in the RMAC conference, I believe. And a little bit of a background for Westminster, for those wondering. They finished last season with a 9-10 record and had a first round exit within the playoffs as Ben Gonzalez has the ball cut out, and Adam Canfield takes down the opposing player on Westminster. And for reference, ladies and gentlemen, as we're trying to figure out the numbers and assigned players, there might be some lapses. We did not receive the best of rosters from the Westminster representatives. I think they were just as focused on preparing for the game in their realm as we were.
Yeah, as they should,
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, this is the last thing on their mind. It's their spring season. They've already done their, their regular season, and so this is just their, and there we go, nice and cleared.
Yeah.
But this is just, it's one of their spring games to, grow and become better, and so that's what they're focusing on right now, which is great for them.
And you can definitely see they're a high press team, direct. Something that we, might have played direct teams, but those who were not as physical and able to, to commit to systems that have such a high press. We're definitely afforded a lot less time on the ball. And, last season, we averaged around 435 passes a game with 73% possession. And I, to be realistic, don't anticipate that today.
That was some good passing for a moment.
Yeah.
But broken up.
Good work by Ben Gonzalez there in the middle. He's a workhorse, and he's not he doesn't have the largest stature, but he gets stuck in well. And here's a Fankhauser who actually loses the ball.
Oh no! Good tackle by Adam Canfield.
Canfield and Garcia doing a great job as that core partnership as we bid farewell to them at the end of this match.
Yeah, you did mention Ben Fankhauser actually losing the ball for once. I actually put a group text together today with all the Fankhausers. So Ben, Taylor, Alex, and Who am I missing? Seth, thank you. How could I forget Seth? But yeah, I asked him. I was like, how is it that you guys never lose the ball? Like, it's always on your foot. Well, Ben said he always loses the ball, and that was a great demonstration that he just gave us of that. But you know, they all gave us very good answers. Very, very informative, very funny. Taylor says, you know, they played a lot of World Cup in the backyard in the basement. Seth actually said it, quote, "I guess when you have short legs, you have no choice but to go into tackles with your foot, shin, and knee all at once." So maybe that is the key to their success on winning 50-50 balls and keeping the ball.
Yeah, in our experience, you know, we would expect to win an easy 50-50 and somehow they'd end up with the ball. It was always interesting. And during that sequence, as you're describing that, one thing I think that we were doing a great job is swinging it and also bypassing, you know, having long passes from Griff to Nathan Mumford, and then from Adam Canfield to the left wing. As the Westminster player is able to keep the ball in play, looks for that, and Griff Garcia is able to cut off that attempted ball into our box. I think a big key tonight, Andrew, from what I've observed just here in the first 6 minutes, is our ability to play with a fast, sharp, focused tempo and using these moments of transition effectively, and then overloading, bypassing, and hitting those weak spots.
Yeah, definitely. I think something else, which is something that BYU is historically very good at, is you know, using the full length of the field. So getting wide whenever we do have the ball, but then whenever we lose it, you know, getting back in and connected to their lines.
Absolutely, and that's why last season, you know, we had you know, 64 goals for, 5 against, with a 17-0-1 record. You know, 94% win percentage. But again, this is a, you know, higher caliber team, and that's what I always appreciate about the spring season when I was part of the program, is, you know, being able to encounter stronger opponents than we would typically get in the fall season.
Yeah, I totally concur with you. I think that is I mean, not to take away from the fall season, but this is, you know, this is the highlight. This is where you really get to see where you stack up against, you know, these D1, D2 schools. And especially for me, I just remember going to Colorado, we play Denver, or we go out to California, do a trip there, and we get to play some teams. And they're a lot bigger, a lot more physical. And it's really a test for you to see where you are in relation to them. And it's honestly almost like a test to prove to not only the team and yourself, but also to the university that you can compete at that level.
No, absolutely. That's a huge focus in personal conversations I've had with Brandon, the coaching staff, as we continue to navigate some uncertain minutia with the standing of the team, is maintaining a standard of excellence and of the highest order. As a ball comes in from Nathan Mumford, and Eric Morris is unable to convert. But first, you know, strong moment of the game does go to BYU.
Yeah, very good. As Ted Lasso would say, 3 points. BYU.
As that shot just a little bit blurry, but I think you can get the picture here, ladies and gentlemen. Sails over and you know, might be hitting Provo High School. Who knows?
Or the Dagobah system.
This is the way. As a long throws attempted, cut out by Westminster. And we can definitely see a high press from Cougars. You know, 2, 4, 6, 7 players in one moment, but they're able to bypass that block. And this is a definite moment of transition we need to be wary of. Bit of a miscommunication here from the Westminster players, and that is a foul. An advantage is called, but then called back, adjudged correctly by the official. He did tell us before the game that he would be watching afterwards, so he can take that compliment. Another cross comes in, and the late run here from Jackson Henley, Fankhauser, and it's in the back of the old onion bag. What a rifler from the edge of the box. First shot on target, first goal by the Fankhauser lad. Third generation, ladies and gentlemen, just like the iPhone, new, improved, and beautiful. And let me tell you, he might have lost the ball, but he rifled that. Goalkeeper did not stand a chance. All he can do is look back at that royal blue net and wonder how in the world did he have that time.
Yeah, what a strike that was. That was a thing of beauty.
Well, good response from BYU. Last game we had to equalize against a team that we expected to beat. Had to equalize in the 85th minute, and we take the lead in the 10th minute. So we'll have to see, how the boys are able to respond. Something that we definitely thrived in was, being able to build and sustain leads on our way to another national championship last season. As the officials are able to correctly point out a deflection and a Cougar throw-in. And one thing I have noticed, I have to say from Carter Olson, he's had some moments where he's been able to hold on to the ball, where last season he did look a little bit more fragile, maybe a little bit of naivete, getting used to the pace. And he's done well. He came in as an impact sub and proved that, his value, and now he's, starting as the 9, the center forward up top.
Yeah, Carter Olson came through. He had a really good season, especially for coming off the bench. Came out with 4 goals. I mean, I think that's 5th on the team in goals. So coming off the bench, that's really great, really promising. Great sign for BYU going forward. He also leveled off with 1 assist, which is great, especially given the minutes that he was given. So hats off to Eric and, off to Carter. And let's hope we get more of that in the future.
Yeah. As he's competing for the ball here with Westminster. Slides through. I like the zealousness, maybe not the application of the effort, though.
Yeah, must I say, we always have to comment on the crowd. What's the crowd looking like tonight? Pretty good. I mean, given that it's a spring game, also given that, it was kind of late notice that everybody knew that it was going to be on South Field. So pretty good turnout.
And something of concern, it looks like number 17 Meyer had a bit of a knock come to the neck area, went down for a little bit. Fankhauser gets the ball, is connected through on a late challenge. It's not picked up by the referee. Jackson Henley plays the ball wide. Here's Eli Homestead, closed down quickly by the larger defender, shielding the ball out smartly. As there are shouts from the bench for the knock that Fankhauser, the goal scorer here in the 10th minute, sustained. There was a late studs up challenge from Westminster that looks like was missed by the officials.
Yeah, and to the officials,
we're keeping him honest.
He did miss it, although he did have not the best vantage point, I will say. So right in front of us, we're on the other side of the defender and Ben Fankhauser. We get to see all of those cleats, and so as though it wasn't a call, it was smart of him to take a second and just check on the kid and see how he's doing.
Yeah, and one potential issue, speaking of knocks, is we noticed in the warm-up that Eli Homestead had a knee brace on. He relayed to me that he had a bit of a potential strain and a ligament, behind his knee. So hopefully he's able to, of course, perform but maintain his health. That can always be a tricky type of injury, to have to overcome. As Westminster's goalkeeper is spraying it to their left center back, into their number 6. And Canfield has plenty of composure to play it to Ben Gonzalez, the little midfield maestro. The ball is adjudged to be a handball on Westminster. And as of 2 days ago, Eli Homestead actually shared with me he is no longer dating somebody. I'm just shocked at this point that there's nothing long-term for him. Fankhauser sends in the ball, low cross. Canfield challenges for it.
Yeah,
that is a little bit of a late challenge, but that's what Canfield's in there for, to be a physical presence. As the goalkeeper sprays it wide, and Mumford does a fantastic job cutting it out. I have to say, I try not to play favorites, but I definitely have been impressed from day one of Nathan Mumford. The work that he's been doing since his debut season last year. and he definitely brings this level-headedness and composure.
Yeah, it seems like there might be a little bit confusion between the coaches and the officials as to which lines we're using. There are white lines, and then there are these blue lines on the field. I think the officials got a little bit confused with that.
Yeah, and I think it looks like we should be using the blue lines.
We should be using the blue lines.
Yeah, because the white lines, if you're wondering, are not for tactical reference points, but I believe for rugby. Great work there. Gonzalez playing it wide here to Henley. Cuts in. Back to Gonzalez. Can you see that right flank open? Nope. And the Cougars opt to maintain patient possession here in the opposing half. Ball played in. Homestead is tripped. Into Henley again. Looks for the through ball. Oh, but just too big of a touch here from Homestead. As it looks like we might, this view we have from the camera looks like something when I'm using my backup camera and I have a little bit of smudge from some snow on it. But we can get a sense of what the replay and what the camera crew's doing for us. We appreciate the audio visual crews always for making this possible for us. I say Canfield and Garcia have been solid as we've been accustomed to at the back so far, cutting things out, and knock on wood, that is not a moment of commentator's curse. This is a moment right here, though, in transition where we can notice some big spaces within that channel between the midfield and the back line that can be concerning. Smart decision here to, take the player down and a, clean, quote-unquote, clean foul.
Yeah, and also it's really important to notice we only had our center backs back there. So Canfield and Griffin, that's something that they need to clean up and make sure that they have at least 3 guys back there. So pulling back one of the wingers and pulling them in. So that's something going forward. Obviously, they're not going to be here into the future, but something that perhaps our younger players can learn from.
Good ball here by Olsen into Homestead. Let's see what he's able to do as he attacks, shifts left. The goalkeeper here is out of position, and the ball just squeezes by the near post, but that goalkeeper was very high off his leg.
He was very high. Maybe he was a little bit confused.
I would try, no, for sure. I would try to make like your birthday party last week and get a little bit of chip into that dip. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, what can I say? That was one heck of a birthday party, if any of you were wondering.
I did secure the invite. That's all I cared about. I was there to cut the German chocolate birthday cake.
It was too good.
One thing I like a lot is that I'm, what's interesting is Brandon texted me with some questions about how, to implement certain German styles of soccer, actually. And I was sharing with him some things about Ralph Ragnick, the father of counter-pressing, or Gegenpressing as they talk about it there. And you can see that's what the boys are really doing extremely well, especially in this right portion of the field, is losing the ball, counter-pressing, winning the ball back. The 3 to 4 seconds after you lose possession are so important.
Yeah, totally agree. We're also doing a pretty good job, with the exception of this pass, keeping the ball, being very patient. With that pass, obviously there was some sort of miscommunication between the young Ethan Meyer and his brother, Nate Mumford over here on the side. So, yeah, maybe we'll be able to clean that up.
Recently engaged as well, Mr. Mumford.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So one day we'll be able to talk about, Mumford and Sons, if he does have, male children.
Assuming that's before he graduates.
We'll still give him a shout out, assuming we're still here and quote unquote employed. As that long ball is cut out by the man we're talking about, Mumford. His attempted pass to Olsen is also cut out. But again, we see this counter press here, a really high press from Mumford, keeping them within their defensive third. Big fan of him. I think I'm going to ask him to autograph my BYU polo after the game. I won't do that, but I am a fan of him.
No, Grant, I do want to get your opinion here. Nate Mumford, right? He's a guy of good size. He's got a good touch on the ball. He's athletic. Okay, we have 2 center backs who are about to leave.
Good, he's slot in there.
Yeah, is that a question going through Brandon Gillum's mind?
I don't know. That's something that we definitely, should ask, and we're going to have to ascertain. Because when I'm looking, at our roster and trying to get a sense of, who can fill in there, I run through it, and I think about, some of the other players who've filled in there, but those two were just have been stalwarts back there. So it's going to be really interesting to see what Brandon has in mind.
And will they keep the 4-3-3 formation?
Definitely. That's something that we've done very well, especially with how Brandon, during his tenure as coach, has liked to play so wide. And one thing I'm noticing, speaking of, with the play, is that ball here to Eli Homestead, misjudges the bounce, hits the earth in frustration. But one thing I've noticed is Westminster really overloads one side and plays very narrowly. So I think that's the biggest, that's what you see with a lot of, other college programs is they attack the center, they try to ram it down your throats very directly.
I will say at first they were doing a relatively decent job of getting wide and possessing the ball, being really patient, but at the same time direct. But as time has progressed, we're in the 21st minute now. We've seen less and less of that, just like we were saying, Grant.
And something that's super important, I'm sure, the staff was prepping the boys about, is starting off on the right foot. Westminster was, definitely implementing a high press, but we can see here, they're almost back at their 18, and they're allowing us to now pass the ball.
Yeah, definitely. Grant, where would you say that comes from on the defensive end? Is that the midfield or the defense setting that line, or is it just like an organization as a whole?
I think it even happens instinctually as we see Westminster here on a potential counter, beautifully cut out by Ben Gonzalez, the little midfield maestro, doing the dirty work as he does so reliably yet again. But to answer your question, I think that naturally, you drop back when you see these, well executed through balls coming in behind you. So then you think, okay, let's drop off a little bit so that we can at least face these passes. But then the flip side of that is a team that possesses the ball well, such as us, is able to now dictate, within their half, within even, our attacking third well. As Homestead is here, surveys his options, and unfortunately, that is where we need to have options, crashing the 6 here, either from Morris or from Olsen. It looks like, they are starting to peter out a little bit as Mumford comes in, wins the ball, adjudged to be off of the Westminster defender. I gotta tell you, I think this is gonna be the Nathan Mumford fan club over to your left here, Doss. I'm loving the way he's playing.
And we see Coach Curtis Graham coming over here to our substitute, giving him a little bit of advice. Just a little shout out here to Coach Curtis Graham. Honestly, I think he is the absolute best coach out there. Just one of the great players, coach, very motivating and such. But we do see Griffin Garcia coming off right now as Cameron Pennock sets to take on the field. And so interesting. I wonder if it looks like Griff might be a little limp in a little bit, but we'll check on that at halftime and give you a little update.
Yeah, and that could be an indication also of what Brandon's looking for, in terms of the passing of the torch. Pennock is he is a sophomore, the Arizona native, and the Linden native, and this is definitely a good moment as we see the Westminster player, I think, try to compete with Greg Louganis for a well-executed dive. There was some contact, but it was definitely embellished. But I definitely say, this is a team with, some, sizable stature and physicality. This is the type of situation that, is going to make the Cougars uncomfortable. As we see these blue lines, I don't know if they're as much of an eyesore as they are for you at home, ladies and gentlemen, but I cannot wait to see white lines. As the ball comes in, cleared out by the other center back, Captain Canfield. As the ball is cleared out by Meyer for a throw-in in the Westminster half. And you hear, to our left, Andrew, Westminster coach emphasizing shape. That's something that, up to this point, it looks like they haven't been able to really get into a sense of rhythm and, to his point, the shape that they're trying to establish. It's definitely a more traditional 4-3-3 that they're looking to implement. With this, that with 8 being that pivot sitting in front of the defenders.
Yeah, this is really good patience on BYU's part. Just letting them have the ball, and then once they break the line of pressure, okay, now let's get in defense.
Yeah, and right there is, Ben Gonzalez steps in, 17, floating in between Canfield and Gonzalez. That's a big, big potential weakness that we can see. And I have to say, Eli's looked a little bit, rusty and heavy, in possession and on his touch, and I can't help but wonder if, the knock he picked up earlier this week has at least a cognitive or even a physical impact on that. Was that just a no-look pass from the goalkeeper?
I think it was.
That was a no-look pass. I didn't know Ronaldinho was in goal.
Hats off to him, though, right?
Yeah. As the boys are fighting in the middle, but Westminster's able to retain possession. And it seems like they're definitely looking to overload the left, and I see their right back just demanding the ball, shouting. And then again, Mumford is doing a phenomenal job using those brains that he has as a neuroscience major, now marauding down this right side for us. We need options in the box, cuts it back, and that has to be, that is some contact there off the ball. I know the ball was behind the 2 players, but Homestead was taken out.
Yeah, and we hear Westminster coaching staff yelling, get up, get up, get up. And that is just a really great indication as to how gassed this Westminster team is right now. If about 2 seconds ago, if you were to look at your screen, you would have noticed that there was about a 50-yard gap between the back line and the offensive line. Quite obviously, you definitely don't want it to be that spread out. You want to be around 25 to 30 yards as you're building up. Granted, it was a counterattack, but that back line's got to be stepping up as well.
Yeah, and I was talking about this earlier with our boys, but I see a lot of space in between the channel. Channels are not just vertical, they're also horizontal between their midfield and their back line. They're stepping off, and that gives Morris, in this example, the ability to run. And now we have Mumford again on the ball, surveying his options. Holds the ball up in the corner, hits it outside the foot to Morris, gets a head-shoulder flick, and the shot comes in from Jackson Henley straight at the goalkeeper. But I tell you, I have to say, I am impressed with how we are looking in possession, especially on the counter. And there are moments where Mumford will step up and Morris is, covering for him. And I think that's something that we didn't necessarily have as much with a more attack, skill-heavy front 3.
Yeah, I've noticed as well as this game's been progressing, a lot of up-back through motions. So ball comes up from the defense, and then it's dropped off, and then the midfielder or the back is going through. So
yeah, and right here, the big thing I see as a concern, having been in that midfield is, having been in the midfield back in the good old days, is as we see Fank finds Morris, acres of space. That's worth tens of millions of dollars in New York City, ladies and gentlemen. But being able to track those secondary runs that are coming straight down our throats, that's a big point of concern. And I see Gonzalez is communicating over to the bench, asking for a sub. Let's see here. Yeah, I wouldn't call that a foul. Canfield surveying his options, and man, Westminster is sitting far back. As we see slight deflection on that cross, will go straight through. But as we see preparing on number 12, Ty's call, and also Alex Fankhauser, the 4th generation edition of the Fankhauser. So let's see what he's going to be able to offer. I know Ty's has typically come in within the midfield, so it could be a substitution for Ben Gonzalez.
Also looks like Braden Bailey is up here at the line about to make a substitution.
And Tag Wilson, the goalkeeping stalwart, if you will, back there. He also, I don't know if he's still involved in his band.
I don't know. I don't know if he is. I also don't know what is going on with the lack of the protective head equipment.
Yeah, he's just ready to go head into that, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't get the Petr Cech vibes that I used to get from him.
Yeah, we'll have to ask him about that.
It's weird seeing his hair. You know, as someone who has thinning hair, it is interesting seeing that he has hair. I just thought he was always bald, frankly.
I mean, he is in a band. So.
Yeah. Never invited me to any of his concerts, you know. Sometimes I take those things personally. They said that Henley, we have quick interchange here from Henley to Meyer to Fankhauser to Olsen, holding up the ball. Intelligently resets through Canfield. A few options in the box from the look for that diagonal. Ball comes in. Ah, goodness gracious. Great gluten-free balls of fire. We just weren't able to get on the end of that. And this is a moment where, you know, that is concerning, but Cam Pennick does a phenomenal job reading the play and is able to cut out the ball in that counterattack situation. Gonzalez now surveying his options, has loads of time, loads and loads of time. And opts to play it wide to Henley. And I remember seeing, you know, last year Jackson Henley, you know, had a bit of a back and forth in terms of whether he was starting or not. And he's, you know, starting this game, and Homestead gives away a sloppy pass right at the edge of Westminster's box. And it's so interesting, as you pointed out earlier, Andrew, just seeing how much time we are being afforded on the ball.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, we saw earlier, right? They were pressing super high. Now you see that as time has gone by, they're a lot more tired and obviously just not having the energy to go ahead and press.
I definitely think this is the time for us to build on a lead if we are able to do that. That final product is still lacking with these passes. You know, plenty of time to swing crosses. Mumford plays it back to Wilson in a potentially cagey moment. They're able to be back on the ball. One thing I love, just philosophically from my perspective, is seeing a team play high and wide. We just have to be wary of sloppy passes like right there from Henley back in the midfield that can be cut out.
Mm-hmm. Good save by
Great
Tag
save.
Wilson. It's always great when you're a great team and then you don't give up a lot of shots, but whenever you do give up a shot, you got somebody like Tag Wilson back there who just puts his body on the line, willing to take the ball anywhere.
He did a great job closing down, minimizing the angles, and forcing the attacker there.
Little uneasiness in the crowd after that tackle.
You see the replay there. You know, I don't know. Maybe I'd let that play.
Yeah.
You know, just it seems like 50-50. They're both going for it. I don't see a whole lot of malice on either side of the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, looks like Ty's call is going to be going up top, as well as Fankhauser coming in. So now we have a front three of Homestead, Call, and Fankhauser, as Gonzalez is now leaving the pitch.
And then we see Braden Bailey's dropping back.
Number 8, what a number.
Yeah.
What best number.
Braden Bailey dropping back. Looks like, is he outside back and they push Nate Mumford up, or is he center back with Canfield?
I think he's going to be a midfielder, but, you know,
yeah,
he's just dropping wide, because Mumford loves to attack down this right flank. And now we see him start to, you know, shift back into the middle. So it looks like Myers even more withdrawn, and our new entrant is going to be, and it seems, he's shifting in the middle now. Yeah.
And who's this lad right here to our right about to check in, Grant?
Oh, that is a dear. See, I'm adamant about family, just as Brother Toretto is. There's always room for family, and there's always room for Kyle Cuvelier coming in here, prepping in the 34th minute. Most likely, I imagine a like-for-like switch with Eli Homestead, and let's see what he's able to do. You know, contributed a few goals and assists last year, and this is a moment that's, you know, obviously concerning as we have these moments of transition, but then sloppy passes that are being cut out.
Ooh, I think that's definitely a foul. Adam Canfield just kind of went down to his knees and just shoved the guy over.
Yeah, and he's, studying to be a physician's assistant. So, when we need that hookup, for, maybe a Z-Pack or something down the line, you know who to call. And it's right, it's right on the edge of the box. So thank goodness it's not a yard or so over.
Yeah, BYU has to be strong here. Historically not a very tall team, but somehow we get it done.
Yeah, and we have to watch this, the far post here as well. I say this has to be a pet peeve. Adidas kit and Nike shin guard stays. As the ball is cleared off of Nathan Mumford, Tag Wilson got a hand to it, wasn't able to hold on to the ball. And we have a substitution being signaled, but I imagine the ref will. Oh, the ref is letting it happen. So yeah, as we correctly predicted, Spirit of Prophecy, Cuvelier is coming in for Homestead, and hopefully Cuvelier is going to be able to produce in the way that his favorite boyhood club, Schalke 04, or Schalke 04, has been unable to do in the highest levels of German soccer. I know Corey, his father, an alleged decent goal scorer in the program, is listening in on this. As Wilson is backpedaling, gets a hand on it. A weak shot cross, who knows what that was from Westminster, comes in and the ball's cleared out. I think we did we've done well so far, knock on wood, commentator's curse. Obviously we're biased here for a certain team in black and blue, but I think we've done a pretty fair job with our set pieces against a more, let's say, physically endowed team, if you will.
Definitely. Yeah, just to give a little shout out, little review of Kyle Cuvelier, what he accomplished last season. So he was just up there with Christian Bain with 4 goals apiece for the whole season. Once again, that's very awesome. Even better, came out of the season number 3 on the team in assists. So he had 6. So that's very promising for the BYU program for such a young player to have that accomplishment.
Great sliding challenge here from Canfield. Does a phenomenal job reading the play. And this is a moment that we need to take advantage of on the counter. As Mumford has played a peach of a ball in, and the goalkeeper just clears it out.
Wow.
I tell you, is he a right winger, is he a right defender? He does it all.
That was a great run by, was that Eric Morris? Who was that?
No, that was Mumford.
That was Nate Mumford and
yeah.
Sons. Wow.
Eric Morris is off the field now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
See, I'm here to pay attention to the switches and substitutions. You're here to give the benefit of the doubt to poor officiating decisions. And I'm here criticizing opposition in all things.
Yeah, we love to hear it.
Now, lots of substitutions and switches to be made. Hard to keep up with. Good step here. I tell you, if there are defensive-minded players watching, I think Mumford's putting on a clinic how to be so impactful and effective on both sides of the ball. As Kampenik on the ball, attempts a split pass. That is I'd say good intent, not the best execution. As the ball's cleaned up here. And it seems like what Westminster has, resorted to, or at least adjusted to, is not just going all out on a high press all the time, but more so in a sense of timing when to press, like in these moments when it goes into the midfield. It conserves energy, and they have exposed some split or square passes that we've attempted.
Yeah, and that's probably our biggest. I wouldn't say our biggest, but one of the issues that we do need to correct a little bit. Just understanding square passes in the middle can be very dangerous.
Effective, but absolutely, to your point, dangerous. And it's just about recognition.
Exactly.
As the cross comes in here, ball in the box, cut out. Henley plays it back here. Ball spread wide into Meyer, has some runners coming forward. Ball chipped into the box, just out of the reach of Fordham. Fordham 4.0. Or excuse me, Fankhauser 4.0. I don't know why I said Fordham. Butters is on my mind, always on my mind, even all these years later. What can I say? Apologies there, Alex. As we see, Ryan Tetro is preparing to come on the IS Major, the sophomore, coming on here in the 40th minute to close out the last few minutes of the half. As there is a high press, but Westminster does a fine job of building out of that press. As our boys shift over to this left side near the stands, where we have, I'd say, a couple hundred fans out here in attendance. Not as much, not a packed house like our season opener against Utah in the fall season. What an electric atmosphere that was.
Yeah, it was
5-0 win?
Yeah.
Yeah. What a statement to send, and what a great match that was. And we can definitely see here, now our boys are starting to, shift back into deeper blocks, but I see Pennick reads the ball phenomenally well, marauding down this left side. Go on, son. Have a go. Have a go. Look at this goalkeeper in his positioning. As Cuvelier surveys his options, does he recognize that split? No. That's all right. I'm able to maintain possession here. I think this is the moment we see how overloaded our left side is. Now that's that time, and they see, and the left back is recognizing Mumford and the threat that he provides for us. So he's quicker to close down, but he's able to spray the ball wide, and now we're continuing to swing the ball and bypass.
Yeah, this patience is phenomenal by BYU.
It's the best I've seen, frankly.
Yeah.
It's against a much better side than we saw in the fall season, and other than a few dicey moments as are to be expected, in a spring season format, they're dictating the game. They're dictating the tempo and everything happening as a long ball is played here. And offside is called against Jackson Henley. He shrugs his shoulders, raises his hands in disbelief. But we definitely have to agree. Overall, the officiating, I think, has been fine this evening so far. We gave him a good prep talk, didn't we, Doss?
Oh, yes.
As Tetro comes in for Mumford on this right flank. We see a bit of a height, height difference here between number 7 and Tetro. So, the big thing is, just making sure he's pinched in, he's tight to him, and especially, minding the aerial threat that he is. But what you can see here is this high press still, something that isn't just proprietary to Mumford, but something that seems to be system-wide. Canfield does not seem all that interested in getting the ball near him. Fankhauser connects with it, ties call, gets a foot on it, isn't able to maintain control or possession. And again, seeing here just number 10 with the red boots floating in the middle, that's something of concern. And also this follow-up from 7 on Westminster. Goes by Tetro and sends it all the way to that area near the Rishi Maze.
Yeah, that ball has been voted off this island.
The home of the Kaminoans, those cloners, in a galaxy far, far away. But that is definitely something to be wary of. It's a lad with size, a little bit of quickness. Make sure that we're forcing that back. As we see here in the 44th minute, another substitution coming for Westminster. Their bench is definitely sizable as you would expect. And they're making lots of rotations, and we've made quite a few subs, but I have to say, dare say, as many, or at least moments or occasions where the subs have been made. Pennick gets a foot on it, and then Canfield's able to clear out any danger as Fankhauser is looking for options. Henley plays it wide here into Cuvelier. Plays it back. One thing I would like to see is I think Kyle underestimates or underrates his ability to attack, and I would like him to see it turn and go. He's more methodical. how he approaches things as a player and also as a person off the pitch. But test this left back. He's had definitely an uncomfortable half. So I would definitely look for that.
I say this time and time again, but BYU is really missing the speed of the one and only Jake, Mr. Nubs Entz. that guy.
You can never forget him.
He was quicker than lightning. I will say that.
Ka-chow. Right?
Yes, ka-chow. If you're listening, Jake,
and great
we love
press
ya.
here from our boys. Ty's call and Fankhauser collapse on number 80. Ball's play wide here. 2 call. Great pass. Oh, just a little bit too much mustard on that hot dog for Fankhauser to get control. I believe Fankhauser to get control. No, excuse me, Meyer to get control. But great little sequence there. I think that's exactly what we're looking to do in terms of that counter press. That seems to be very thematic and much more prevalent so far this season.
And I think that might be all she wrote for the first half, coming here in a second. We've reached 45 on the clock, but
he might be playing some stoppage time.
Very possible. 2 minutes is what we're being signaled.
And I think BYU is wanting to have a lower defensive block, being aware of this. A little bit too much time for the Westminster left back to be able to get forward, but he sends in a very unconvincing and tame cross into the middle. But as the clearance comes from Canfield, he is tripped, he is connected with, and the first yellow card of the evening is dealt to Westminster's number 10 as he aims for the nether regions of Adam Canfield, but his reactions are able to serve him well there.
Yeah, one thing there that I did notice as a back, we had Alex, the run came from the back, and Alex Fankhauser was the one who ended up tracking that runner. And there was number 7 there forward that Ryan Tetra was initially covering.
Yeah.
They basically just switched positions where, necessarily you don't have to do that. Alex doesn't have to make that extra 15, 20, 25-yard run. Just communicate nice and easy. You see one's going one way, you just say, hey, switch, and then you just switch. You catch the one coming, and then you just, a lot easier for you.
Yeah. Here comes the free kick from Wilson. Ball is played wide into Fankhauser, the 4th. Into Fankhauser, the 3rd. Sees that opportunity coming here, opts to try and play it down that same side. And halftime is called. We finish the half, ladies and gentlemen, with a 1-0 Cougar lead with Ben Fankhauser rifling in a blazing shot into the bottom left corner at about the 10th minute mark. What are your takeaways so far, Andrew?
Yeah, I mean, BYU did a very great job of commanding the game, keeping the majority of the possession. Had a few hiccups every once in a while, just rushing the ball or just getting a little bit too excited whenever the run wasn't necessarily there. But I think overall it was a very strong half for BYU. Obviously they score one early, but and are unable to finish one or two more off before the half. So that makes it a little bit more dangerous going into the second half. So I assume Coach Gilliam will address that in the locker room, and hopefully they come out with angst and energy to increase this lead going into the second half.
That's exactly what's on my mind. I think we dictated possession, we dictated tempo, but we have to find ways to build on that lead to put this game beyond any doubt. So with that, Cougars fans, we'll see you after the halftime interval, and in the meantime, enjoy your restroom, snack, quick grocery or pharmacy run, and we'll see you in the second half here from Southfield. Garcia, you see them warming up in that motion and that rhythm at halftime.
Yeah, and that's something that can have such a huge impact on the game. Skipping one player if you can. So instead of passing it 5 yards, you pass it 10. And that's going to spread the defense even more, which is going to give you even greater advantage.
Yeah. Initial mistake here from Couvelier with a slow pass cut out. He's able to recover, and the clearance goes out for a Westminster College throw in.
Yeah, and early on we're seeing the Cougars a little bit uneasy, maybe a little uncomfortable.
Has to be called as a handball, yep.
It could be,
No?
you know, it is
Oh.
the second line out
That's
here.
interesting. That wasn't called as a handball, extending his arm in an unnatural position, and then, you know, this leads to a free kick. Sorry to interrupt you.
Oh, no, you're totally fine.
Me being critical of referees? No.
Sorry, sir, if you're watching this. Well, I apologize at least. Grant can. I can't.
Don't take it out on my Orem High School Tigers when you do officiate.
Yeah, and for you folks listening online, just a little background here on Grant. He can be very, very opinionated, especially with the refs.
Candid. It's in my German blood. As the free kick comes in here, wide open. And a beautiful
Off the woodwork.
Is that a clearance or off the woodwork?
Off the woodwork.
That's definitely a lack of organization, you know, on the far post, but then following that second ball, something that hopefully serves as a wake-up call for the Cougars. And ladies and gentlemen watching at home, to my esteemed colleagues, my Lululemon dripped-out colleagues point. No, I definitely like to say things as they are. As we see this replay here, thankfully, we're able to have a connection here. But you see there is a high press coming in from Westminster. They're looking to make, you know, this second unit uncomfortable on the ball. And what I can notice is Asher Franks here on the near side for us on the left. You know, he definitely has a lot of space. This Westminster team keeps things very narrow, attacking and also defensively.
Yeah, definitely. They have a lot of energy, Westminster, right now, especially hitting the woodworks. They can feel they're knocking. They're really close.
Yep.
BYU's got to be, yeah, they have to respond, and they have to be very sharp on defense. Yeah.
And with sloppy passes, you know, it all starts, you know, that sequence with a sloppy pass. And, you know, they're going to be looking for those moments. As we see this blistering pace here from Tetro coming up the right side. The goalkeeper connects with them. I would say, you know, fairly connects with the ball. You know, comes through a little bit, but what pace?
Yeah.
I'd say that's a bit of a, you know, 88, 89 to FIFA pace if we're going to quantify it.
Yeah.
Good work there from Tetro. You know, he recognizes great pass, you know, to overload. That's something, you know, in the final PDL season in 2017, and then, you know, in the seasons that you were in your final seasons, you know, before and then even after, you know, you came after that last season for me. And Brandon emphasizes bypassing, switching, getting the defense uncomfortable. As the ball comes in here, header comes in, and cleared off the line. Oh my goodness, Pearson Wallace must have learned that header in the land of the Pharaohs on that trip last November.
Braden Bailey
slaloming through. This is the type of momentum we need to keep going. This is the energy we need. Pearson Wallace again on the ball. Let's see what he's able to do. Spreads it wide.
Good ball. Is that Ashby? Yeah.
Yep.
Freshly home from the mission. Sao Paulo.
And this is exactly what these boys are capable of. You know, this is, you know, quote unquote, you know, at least in large proportions, the second unit, and being able to have that type of momentum. And something that, you know, we've not historically been good at in our program the last few years is attacking set pieces. As this ball attempted by Griffin Garcia is cut out a little too tame. The ball is overhit, and Tag Wilson is able to scoop up, and that has to be a foul. He's extending through the back. Maybe he's, you know, just playing advantage. The referee is having some words with him. I don't really know what he's doing, you know, with the little, you know, fist pounding. But, you know, this is definitely Yeah, you know, he's just coming straight through his back. He's lucky it's not me on the field. I'd be right back in his face as a miscued clearance comes in. Tetro connects, however, and it's a little bit dicey. And Griff Garcia is there to clean up. As we hear the appreciation from the fans for building out of that pressure. You know, I'd say that, you know, the flow of action is definitely coming against the Cougars so far in the second half with our secondary unit. And it looks like, you know, number 9 on Westminster. We wish we had their names. Unfortunately, the roster we provided is not updated and as insightful as we were hoping for. That's not meant as an insult at the opposing team, but maybe it's part of, you know, them being in a preseason as well. But It looks like number 9, their striker, is definitely well in the ear of the referee. Cross comes in, and the second ball is dealt with well. Gouvelier down the left with space, receives the ball, cuts back in.
That's very good.
Yes.
Kyle, recognizing it's 1v5.
Don't force it.
Yeah.
Keep the ball. Let's start to dictate the tempo again, just as we were doing a couple minutes ago. Well done, lad. And we see, Kyle, and even an opportunity for, Asher Franks to be that secondary overlapping run, even a tertiary overlapping run at certain moments. As the ball comes in, just overhit again, I think, especially as a midfielder, you love to hit that killer through ball pass, but I think we can do a better job in this case of keeping possession, getting Westminster out of that sense of momentum.
And Grant, I will say, I like Braden Bailey back there in the middle. I think he is having a phenomenal day.
Great ball here. Potentially, the judges be offside. Sorry, Andrew.
No, I think he's having a very great day. I think there are some moments that he's having, and he's showing a little bit of Christian Bain. Very comfortable, crafty on the ball. I think Braden's he's on the verge of having a very great season. So I'm really excited.
To your point, he has looked sharp. I wonder if he, as Christian Bain always alleged and thought was something to be boastful about. I wonder if he also shares that perfect cereal to milk ratio as part of his breakfast. As this sloppy ball comes in here, I'll tell you, AD is, he's a smaller player. He looks technically sharp on the ball, something that I don't think we should afford him a whole lot of time.
Yeah, low center of gravity. It's just like the Fangs. Maybe that's the secret.
Yeah,
always keeping the ball.
Might be the Fangs from Wish though. As this ball comes in, and you can see again this Westminster team is just trying to go straight down our throats, and that has to be a foul here. I would, if I'm the referee, give that booking.
And it looks like he's calling him back.
Looks like that's going to be the final warning.
He
Last one. I would give a booking in that case, just because of you're looking at the context of the play. We're in, BYU's in on the counter, and that's something that is stifling play.
Yeah.
As Griff plays it across here to Cam Pennick. Plays it wide to Ryan Tetro. I did not know he had that pace that he demonstrated. Pearson Wallace with lots of space. Number 13, that left-footed lad, trying to command in the middle as this ball is played through to Asher Franks. Keeps it in, attempts a first-time cross and goes out for a throw-in.
That was perfectly weighted.
Perfectly weighted, absolutely. You can't call offside there. There is no offside on a throw-in. Oh, he's calling a goal kick. Okay.
Oh,
I'm thinking, sir, this is a Wendy's. There's no offside on throw-ins and goal kicks.
Yes.
Any type of, throw-ins or indirect kicks. It definitely seems like this unit is looking to bide its time in terms of when to press. And we are definitely sitting in a lower block, as you see, this direct run coming through from number 27. I would not call that as a...
I thought it was pretty fair.
He goes straight up, not playing the man. But if we do have a replay, we can see, but from first glance. But maybe that's our bias. Who knows?
Perhaps.
But you are a Ute, as a that's your masters right now. So, if all in all, you should be calling it against us.
Looks like he's pretty much straight up. Maybe he turns his butt into him.
Maybe that's what the referee sees as not, playing the ball as much as he can. Short pass comes here to number 10. Definitely don't want to foul. Cross comes in, and it is overhit. This is time for us to, step up our line and make sure that we're not affording Westminster too much space.
Yeah, they got to step a little bit more. Good step by Griff Garcia.
He reads the game well. Sloppy pass, though, in possession. And again, got to be careful with giving up these cheap free kicks. Good work there by Kyle Coop. That's exactly what I would do. Must run in that family blood.
Yeah.
Many things are temporary, Doss, but as Brother Toretto says, family is permanent. The good work there by Kyle standing in front of the ball, and the Westminster player tried to, I don't know what he was trying to force, but at least we're able to get out of a set piece situation. But we are definitely dropping back a whole lot. I see 10 as, you know, their main threat. Ooh, good thing he did not go down there. Oh,
that's not smart on BYU.
no, yeah, Cam Pennick looks like the blood rushed to his head. And yeah, definitely connects with the player, and thankfully just outside of our box. Right there, he could have gone down. And I got to tell you, that could be on the line. You know, when there is a foul on the line, and you know anywhere in the box that is a penalty, you cannot have a free kick right on the line, is what I understand. But it looks like he's judging that to be a free kick right on the edge of the box. VAR, video assistant referee, does not exist in this context, but that's a let off. Absolutely, I have to say for BYU.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, that's something that, you know, Cam Pennick is trying to grow into this role, and that's something that, you know, he's going to have to recognize, you know, spatially, that awareness when it's, you know, okay to lunge in. Something that, you know, you and I both learned.
Yeah, especially after my first red card.
That was the cue, ladies and gentlemen, and my esteemed colleague read the cue.
Yes.
And so we have two people standing over the ball. I feel like this would be optimal for an in-swinging right-footed shot coming in from 21. Short comes, and the shot fizzes wide, no contact. I thought they were both, there was a right foot and left foot based on the way he was approaching it, but given how number 11 you know, went for that short, now I can see they're both right-footed.
And I'm a fan of that free kick. I mean, it gets you around the wall. The only thing I would have changed, you got to hit that near post. You hit that near post, there's no wall. The goalie's already set up to cover the backside. You know, that's just the only thing I would change about it.
You know what I would change about it? Just hit it on frame.
Yeah. Yeah, you know that too.
Yeah, that can always work. Good skill here. Asher Franks goes to ground. And we definitely, again, the run-up play is with Westminster right now. As there's another cagey opportunity. Tyskal tries to hold the ball out wide, but his touch is too big. I wonder, you know, I see a couple people warming up down the touchline, can't quite identify who they are, but I think this would be the moment, you know, 60 minutes, 61st minute, we're about 15, 60 minutes into the second half. I think this is the time that the staff should look to be making a substitution. And just stand him up, good work. It's like he's listening to me. And too much time here in the middle. We have a very low block, but we cannot afford, you know, that much time in the midfield as Westminster looks to keep it in, and the ball's adjudged to be out. I think here again, we've seen it with this unit. We've seen it, you know, in our program. We can dictate tempo. We can dictate possession in the game. We just have to be more level-headed in this sense and play the system that Gilman and the coaching staff have implemented and maintained these years.
You know, Grant, you make a really great point there. I think that's the key to BYU in this second half. You know, they're a little flustered. They're coming in, they're diving instead of coming in level, nice and balanced. They're diving, they're hacking, and that's something that, you know, it comes with maturity. But also, you know, they need to recognize, hey, we're up 1-0. Let's take control of this game. Offensively, let's make it boring. And you know, obviously we want to get goals, but as we make the game boring, it makes Westminster a little less comfortable,
well, then they start to your point, they start to get frustrated, then they press, they get impatient, and that's what opens up spaces. But yeah, take the sting out of the game. Don't play, this isn't playing not to lose, but take the sting out of the game, let the momentum and the run of play shift back in our favor, and then we can look to go forward. Because, you know, you and I have been in these positions at different levels. Of coming in, new guy, you know, you want to prove it, go, but the most important thing in this game is having the composure, having the awareness, simplifying the game, and not overcomplicating it.
And Grant, I will say that I was watching some film of the 2019 team that I was playing on, and I just look at some of the passes that I made, and I was like, I was just trying to be a hero. I was trying to impress the coach, and I think that, you know, that may have cost me some playing time. Just understanding that, hey, you just need to make the easy pass. the easy decision. And as you do that, I think if you're consistently doing that, that says more to a coach. If you can do that, then if you're hitting 50-yard bombs right on a dime,
they have their place, as we saw in the first half. Adam and Griffin, picking those moments to have those Hollywood diagonal passes. But right now, as we saw just a few moments ago, we have that opportunity to break, and we don't play the easy outlet here on BYU's left side. And again, having to turn and face goal. Good save here, powerful shot at the near post.
Yeah, I will say.
And right here, I think Ty's call needs to be higher now.
Yeah, exactly.
As he, now is drifting offside, but this is the time again. Take the sting out of the game. Let's see if the boys are able to do it.
Yeah, let's move the ball. Like we say, 1-2 touch, 3 if you need. Just keep moving their players. They're going to get tired. They're going to be sick of it.
And you can see they're not looking to press attack Wilson so much as we see Fankhauser and also Nathan Mumford looking to add some more composure back into the second half for the boys. Bring their level-headedness, their ability to keep, maintain, and distribute the ball. And Ty's call heads it back to Pearson Wallace, 2 very good friends from my understanding of social media posts at the very least, as Griff Garcia is able to attack this space.
Yeah, I will say the last minute or so, BYU has been a lot more calm on the ball, which is a good sign, and we keep the ball. That's great. Good stuff, Asher.
Yeah.
And a ball. That's great.
Exactly.
That's perfect.
We just a little bit too under hit, but that's the purpose of passing. Overload, and then find those weaknesses, on that weak side. And now we're able to maintain possession within their attacking third.
Exactly.
Having that vision. And then here's another great pass.
Perfect.
Out wide to Asher Franks. Intended for Wallace. Sliding challenge comes in. That's how these teams play. They're just going to go in. They're going to risk the booking, especially, an attacking midfielder. I don't think and that's coming in from behind. That has to be a yellow. I would give that a booking. He's coming straight through. No real attempt to play the ball. And he's cramping up. Maybe, work on your fitness a little bit more so you can track back effectively. But,
that's got to be a yellow.
That has to be a booking.
And I think, for me as a former player, I would get caught up in the emotion of the game. And that's exactly why the referees need to come out and issue bookings when you have tackles like this, especially the second half. There's been a lot of people flying on the ground.
You're managing the game.
Exactly. You're throwing cards out there. More people are going to be timid. They're going to think twice, because if you're coming out with all these yellows, what's to say the next one's not a red, Yeah,
I think the center official is trying to be a little bit more philosophical level with the players. I see him is he reaching for a pocket? Yeah, here comes the yellow card. Yeah, well, fair play there. Well done. That is a rash challenge. No attempt to play the ball, I think. That, goes exactly by the laws of the game. As we have a goalkeeper substitution here for the final quarter of an hour, or excuse me, the final 25 minutes. Obviously, I was not a math major. And we see the subs come in. Meyer, Mumford, and Fankhauser entering the field here. Ryan Tetro put in a solid shift overall. Demonstrated a lot of pace.
Yeah, I like Ryan Tetro. I think last season he showed a lot of potential, and I think he's showing a little bit off of that right now. So
yeah. And we hear directions, from the staff, and that is a bit of a risky pass there. We don't know who it's necessarily intended to. At least it reaches a target, but the press is starting to come in. As Kuv vies for the ball, wins it back very well, has pressure, looks the other way, and is able to have composure. Well done, sir. That's at I asked him, before he was going in, would you like to play like Schalke or FC Bayern? And he said, of course, like Bayern. And hopefully that doesn't send his poor father into heart failure. And beautiful pass here, overlapping run from Frank. Ball comes in, and just deflected out. Looks like it could be rolling.
Ooh, that was close.
Oh, and he's calling Mumford offside.
I think it's a goal kick.
Oh, goal kick.
Yeah.
Pardon me. These lines are tricky.
They are.
Because I'm seeing, it's not passing the white line. I gotta say, who we gotta complain to, you know? Who do I write a letter to? Dear Mr. Line Painter. What in the world?
Yeah, rugby needs blue.
Yeah.
Rugby blue.
Rugby blue. That sounds better than, soccer blue. We also see Morrison and Homestead are going to be entering the field as well.
And I will say, I do have a very great vantage point of Eli Homestead. Very great mustache going on, I must say. He's looking very good tonight.
Was that a wink?
That was a wink,
Little
yeah.
cheeky wink. And also we see Adam Canfield and Ryan Olsen coming back on up top. So we're going to see a return to, essentially that unit we saw in the first half.
Yes, yeah. Adam Canfield looks great as always. However, his captain's band is upside down.
It is. But maybe it's for dyslexics. I don't know. Oh, you see it backwards or mixed up? I don't know. I'm not a scientist. But Mumford here on the ball is a neuroscience major, so maybe he can give us the answer after a few more courses are under his belt. And you see here, it really looks like Westminster in the second half is really trying to clog any opportunity for split passes down the middle. But that's leaving opportunity for Mumford. Let's see what he's able to do. Cuts in. Is he going to hit it? Just a tame cross, killed his angle there.
That's tough. There needs to be a little bit more of a dynamic run coming from.
Good work here from Meyer. He fouls him, but he's a judge to foul him, but it stifles the rhythm, or at least the momentum and build up here. Yeah, it goes through the player. He can't believe it. Just like T-Pain in that brilliant song where he rhymes mansion with Wisconsin. Cross comes in here, cleared out by Griffin Garcia. I'll say his stature, his posture, everything about Griffin Garcia over these years has improved. As we see a quadruple substitution coming in, it's definitely a preseason game. Homestead, Canfield, Olsen, I already said Olsen, Homestead. I feel like I'm repeating myself over and over again. And Morris coming on. There are four people coming on, 4 people coming off. As we're seeing a return, to that first unit as Westminster prepares some subs as well.
There needs to be a little bit of a card there for embellishment. Yeah.
The way that I approach it in this case, to your point, Andrew, is if it's not a foul, then is it a dive? What is it? Yeah, I look at it very absolutely in that sense.
And I will say,
we can see here on this. Oh no, there's. It's interesting. The visitors bench, to our left, they're looking at the board, the review, and they see something different than we do. Trying our best to be objective.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
But as some Utah Valley University fans might comment on our YouTube streams, they might think we're a little too biased. But fix your kits. Green and white, green and black. I worry about the way that your boys are out there dressing.
What about the blue and black?
Blue and black, I kind of like it. It gives me like a preppy Dark Knight vibe. And ball comes in here out wide.
That's good.
And chip ball, and that blue line again throws me off. I'm thinking, oh, he's got another yard. I'm thinking, why is the goal so far up? BYU fans, we should. I'm not, encouraging or inciting a revolt or a lashback or anything, but we got to write a letter to somebody here. Get a change.org position.
I will say, with rugby playing on South Field, how great does this field look?
Oh my goodness! No, our groundsmen. I have to say, of any college surface I've seen across the country, it is world class. I think it's the best pitch in the entire state of Utah.
Definitely. And if you've ever seen this pitch after a rugby match, oh my goodness, there definitely is room for improvement. But we do very well
here from Morris.
Fixing that.
Meyer on the ball. Pressed by 10, you can see there. I think the Westminster coaching staff is recognizing that a high physical press is the right way to shake us up. There's 26 on the ball, has a man wide open, and the flicked header sails for the other side of the Galaxy. Maybe he's trying to do the Kessel run there instead of going for the goal on that attempt.
He might be trying to make the Kessel run, but there's no way that ball was going 12 parsecs.
Great touch here from Morris to Franks. And pressure here from Olsen on the goalkeeper. We have not tested him yet, this goalkeeper that we've subbed in. And look at that pace from Mumford, my goodness.
Those long, daddy long legs.
Great ball here, lays it off. Are we gonna get another goal? Rebound, hit that, son. Aye, you don't win the lottery if you don't buy a ticket. We gotta hit that on that follow-up. Just a little too intricate there. Just a little too intricate there. Maybe Olsen there's feeling the a proverbial weight of a dark saber. It's hard to control and balance, but sometimes you just got to go for it.
Yeah. Well, you do. You do have to win. You have to win it in battle to be
well
effective.
Cut out by Griff, beautifully, and keeps the clearance in. Well done, sir. And then Olsen able to put on pressure. There's this run coming in from Holmstead. Morris recognizes him, doesn't execute. I think that was the right decision. Into Wallace, and then back into Fankhauser.
And we keep the ball. We make it very boring. We pick our moment, right?
Yeah, you can see the maturity and the recognition now with some of these core leaders, from that first unit, taking part. Good split pass here. A little bit too sloppy from Fank, but we're able to still retain possession. Played back into Meyer, and I see, he's, with Gonzalez out, I hope, nothing is wrong. I have to disagree with this offside call here from my initial perspective. Give the benefit of the doubt again. But here's 7 on Westminster. Got a lot of pace. Not great execution on that through pass, though. His ball's recovered back with Tag Wilson. And the ball is searching and played and flicked on by Nathan Mumford. Marauding down this right side. He has one option, he has 2 options, he cuts in! Ooh. Oh, and on his weak foot forces a stellar save.
That's
from
a shot.
The substitute keeper.
That's a great shot, great save.
You know what he put behind there?
What?
He put behind that shot the entire record label of Mumford and Sons. Every single minute of composing those lyrics. Blistering.
Grant, if there's one thing I could change in this second half, would be these chairs. They're a little rough.
I don't want to bring it up, but you did.
Maybe we'll have to.
Coach Gillum.
Yeah, come on, Coach.
We got to include this in the collective bargaining agreement.
Yes, and a polo.
More than a polo. I'd like one of those swanky coaches quarter zips as someone's trotting on the field. Looks like he might be from Huntington Beach. Gives me that vibe.
Good-looking dude.
Yeah, you think so? I'd say is really good looking was that attacking run and sequence there from Mumford as the corner comes in. Low. Ooh. Shot comes in from Olsen. Attempts it. No worries.
2 fans.
Ball goes out for a throw-in beyond those blue lines.
Got to step on it. Find Griff.
I would exactly. I would maintain possession here.
See, now we lose a bunch of field position.
Yeah, I think the boys are, have recognized. I don't think that was the best pass by any means, but I think they recognized they want. This team is physical, and you can see just straight across from our vantage point. It's 2 blocks of 4, but that second block is so high up. That is something I think within that channel we can have. Olsen, Carter Olsen, or somebody else dropping into that space, collecting the ball and working off of a combination that way.
Oh, good.
Morris reads that beautifully. Has a little bit of a slip, but is able to attack. Through pass attempted here.
Oh, there we go. Oh, Carter Olsen. And that ball.
I think he was thinking of the celebration.
He was, yeah. And that ball has been voted off this island. Boom. To Hoff.
That was cold. You know, a lot of I've had friends, you know, watch our broadcasts over the years, and when I was with, you know, Bueller and now with you, Dawson, and they say, you know, man, you used to shake your head at dad jokes, and now that's all you do. And I guess I've, you know, become the very thing I swore to destroy.
Maybe it means you're going to be a father soon.
Who knows? I'm getting ready, Chief. And here's Morris with his options. Puts the ball beyond. And it's always interesting when you see, you know, pressure being dealt, you know, from the other side, but, you know, it's in front of their bench, and, you know, a little bit of contact is the most egregious thing ever. Right here, if I were Eric, you know, Morris, I'd put myself right in front of the ball, but it does go the other way. And, you know, I think, and you see Pearson Wallace, you know, he's getting a lot more extended minutes with Gonzalez not so far returning to the second half. Here's Mumford, plays in a ball into Finkhauser, has the right side open. EY's on the ball on this right side, able to cut in on his strong left. Plays it into Wallace and spreads it. This is how you play football, ladies and gentlemen. Asher Frank surveys his options, sends in a pass just to... Now, I got to say, the goalkeeper should catch that there, I think. He seemed to read it, but not have a solid execution. I think Noah Larkin, the goalkeeper. He's 6'4", but not able to extend that wingspan to catch the ball. Instead, it's a Cougar corner.
Ooh, Cougar corner. I like that.
Why don't we should call the blue line that.
The Cougar corner.
Cougar corner, way better. Hopefully it'll be faster too. EY has the ball stuck under his foot, trying to stick with it. Wallace up here, finds that right pass. Cross coming in, swung in.
Ooh.
Good ball, but I tell you, I don't know how Olsen was able to contort his body that way, but you know, fair play, lad. But this is a moment as we see, you know, option coming in the middle, and well dealt with beautifully. I want to applaud with how Griff dealt with that, and that's a late challenge here that is being missed by the officiating crew. I think, you know, these strikers up top, nothing wrong with being physical, but you have to maintain control over the game. Silly challenges coming in. I have nothing wrong with contesting, but flying through somebody a second after the ball leaves the foot. Looks like there's is this a free kick?
I think it's throwing.
Okay, throwing. Okay, stand him up. Make sure we have to fill in this gap, you know, in between our two center backs. Nothing there.
It's a good tackle.
You can roll around, my friend, but you're just going to stay in that white jersey of yours. Long ball comes in.
A little bit too
Mumford.
direct there.
A little bit too, but you know, this is a good moment. If we can effectively press and get this line up, which I think we need to do, we can catch them.
Yeah, back line's back too far. I mean,
yeah,
they're at the top of their 18, and we're what behind our Yark. You know, they need to be up, pressed a little bit more.
Yeah,
I mean, even
and
right
we
now,
did a phenomenal job in the first half with that counter press.
Yeah.
I think here, you know, you're starting to see some weary legs. It's the 82nd minute, but I think this is a great test for the boys. You know, we didn't have, you know, when we're playing at this, you know, the NERSA club level, we're not able to have opportunities where it is a tense 1-0 lead that we need to protect. I say great work from Canfield again.
Tell him to turn.
Yeah.
That's another huge thing, but it's so small. Whenever
Just
you pass
check your
the ball,
shoulder.
well, you check your shoulder always, but the communication
Tell
is
him.
always turn,
Absolutely.
man on. You know, as you do that, they become a lot more comfortable in knowing exactly what they can do with the ball.
No, absolutely, and my philosophy is with, you know, boys I coach, or, you know, when they ask me advice is, you know, what should I do? And it's just over communicate. You find yourself playing better. And in Utah, you know, with how Cottonmouth works, you should want water only for the sake of, you know, communicating so darn much, especially when it's from your back line or, you know, in that core and skeleton of the midfield. Longo comes out, and this is an opportunity. This is an opportunity that Westminster can build into. Tons of space here, and number 9 is unable to convert it. That has to be a dive. Wow. That has to. via dive, and that's, you know, slack defending. You know, we can't shut off because of that. And the only, you know, real threat that we've seen, you know, for the last few minutes is, you know, through Westminster and number 7 with his height. I have to say, I would, you know, I never believe in blaming an official. I think 99 out of 100 times it's not official. This is a breakdown from us here. I don't know if he's offside, but has to be marked. And, you know, we need to step there. If we, you know, call for the dive, sure, but you have to step on the ball there. I think our left flank has definitely been vulnerable, and we see that's where the cross comes in. I think, you know, use these last few minutes. I don't believe we're going to be going to extra time or anything. It is a friendly, but, you know, this is the time now to make sure that we impose ourselves more. A little bit too hasty there from Garcia. And I'd have to say, Ben Gonzalez's presence in the midfield is being missed in the second half. When you consider, you know, he is doing the dirty work. And I think, you know, a lot of these interchanges and things that have been happening, you can see his absence is definitely notable.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you about that, Grant. But the thing is, you know, although you do have a player like that, as a player who's not the first string, you gotta be the one to want to have that position.
Absolutely.
And you do that by stepping up.
Yes, absolutely. I heard a line years ago, quite a few years ago, all about making a material difference, not just maintaining. Obviously, you're expected to maintain the status quo, but what, you know, what is the unique thing that what unique element or elements that you're able to bring? And again, transition, something you hear shouting from the staff, getting caught out. And you know, prevent a cross here. Meyer can do that. This team is direct. And I think the biggest thing, you know, I talk about this with the high school boys and, you know, these teenagers that I coach and train, is when teams are pressing high, it's about absorbing the pressure. And to your point earlier, Andrew, killing the momentum of the game, making it a little boring, making them impatient. We're going to see a long throw, and, you know, it won't be any surprise that 7 is, you know, a target for the flick on for somebody to clean up afterwards. Overthrown, and Morris heads it out. And we haven't said Eli Homestead's name a whole lot.
Oh, no.
No. Goodness gracious.
That was...
Sir, that call is as green as the shirt you are wearing, because he trips on himself. He slips on the surface. I don't know. He loses his balance, but I'll tell you, I don't really see Eli Homestead knocking people over.
Yeah, what is he, a $110?
Yeah.
Oh, and the late tackle from behind.
You know, it's just, you know, when teams aren't, you know, they don't believe in a more sophisticated system. Yeah, I totally disagree with the call there, but, you know, we go on. But I think, you know, teams, when they're playing a less sophisticated, more direct physical system, you know, we have to expect that. And I think this is, yes, it's a preseason friendly, but we have to make sure that we're responding, we're acting appropriately. And to your point, making a difference, especially coming on. You see two runs down this right flank. Play that into Mumford. Get in the box. Ah, we need to crash the 6 right there. Crash the near post. And I think that's something that we miss from Anderson, or even a secondary run from Bain. That's something we're still trying to fill in.
And, you know, I think fatigue plays a little bit into this.
Yeah.
But, you know, at the same time, you gotta dig in.
That's the moment you put your body on the line. You crash that near post, and then, you know, you can recover.
Yeah.
Corner coming in. Let's see if we're able to convert here. They do have, you know, a superior air advantage, to say the least. And the ball's cleared long.
Oh, come on.
My goodness gracious. There's no attempt to be playing the ball here. No attempt to be playing the ball here. I think that's the main thing. We were both defensively minded players. Look at, are they playing the ball? Are they connecting with the ball or the man? And what is the intent, right? You can judge the intent based off of the action, yeah?
What would be really impressive for BYU, come out on top, obviously, but they need to have more and more attempts at goal. And this is a really good
Great cross here. Get the options in the box. Good ball.
No one's in the box. people.
We need to crash that. There should be at least 3 in that sense, and I just think Morris another yard behind. I think this is a great time just to force the press and
drop in. A great touch by our friend Tyler Staten. Shout out to the BYU photography.
Yeah, and I think, and you know, something of me philosophically, are we gonna fall over? Have some dignity. Have some dignity the way you play. And here we are.
Just a shout out to Tyler Staten at Tyler Staten Photo on Instagram. One of the better, I would honestly argue.
He's phenomenal.
I would say he's probably the best sports photographer in Utah. He does high schools. He does.
That's when we need. Sorry to interrupt you. That's when we need another near post crash. It should be 3 this half alone.
Yeah.
I know I'm you know, grunting and expressing some emotion. I'm invested. I'm invested, everybody. I'm invested, Chief Doss.
Getting chippy, and I go back to my
control
point
the game
earlier.
referee.
Yeah, he has to clean this up earlier.
All he's done, this lad, number 9, is run his mouth. You know, run his mouth, play off of the ball. You know, he's laying into you know, Canfield, and then what is this?
Yeah,
so I think he's playing by the rugby lines, the white rugby lines, and getting, you know, we're playing football or soccer here.
I'm surprised 9 doesn't have a booking yet.
Yeah, no, I definitely have some fundamental issues here with that, and it's a free kick in their favor. Interesting, but you know, and this should not lead to any excuses for the back line. We have to deal with it. And I see 7. You know, that's a concerning thing. The big white headband here, and I think, you know, Griff's making the right call. Step up the line. Step up the line. And that ball is just not well put in, but I think we. I
thought that's a corner.
Looks like.
Yeah, it's definitely.
I don't know what the ref is communicating with his assistant referee here on the near side.
Yeah, they're trying to figure out what we're gonna do.
In terms of stoppage, you think? It looks like time's expired. Because I don't see the clock anymore. I think it just flew by.
Very possible.
Yeah. But you know, this might be the last chance of the game. We don't know what stoppage is going to look like, and I think this is something that we have to defend.
Asher Franks taking one for the team.
Yeah, phenomenal job getting it beyond the near man, right?
Yeah.
I always got so frustrated with corner kick takers when that happened. And I love the gamesmanship here, jump in.
Look at that.
Look at that. Those are 2 solid stars. Well done by Zach Wilson. Let's get this counter. All right, recognizes it's not on. Let's build out of it. You know, as we're coming to the close of this half, you know, I don't know how much stoppage time we have, but what are your thoughts overall in this game as we return to the South Field on this beautiful March Friday evening, Doss?
I mean, obviously, a lot better of a first half than the second half.
Yes.
Second half, you know, it was complacency.
Yep.
Complacency, and I think emotions are running high, and that definitely runs with. That's an excellent touch.
Phenomenal by Eli. I thought that was going at him. We went thrown. But to your point, absolutely. This is the importance of getting those insurance policy goals. The second, the third, crashing the near post as Homestead's here in the corner.
Yeah, I mean, it's extremely difficult. Oh, yeah.
As the ball goes out for a corner, I don't understand the rolling around. You're a defender, lad. Have some dignity. We can thank Neymar for that. All the modern day Brazilians.
And we are getting word this is most likely the last play of the game. So let's hope that BYU can put this away.
Yeah.
Got just a couple moments left. Adam Canfield.
Oh, what a way to go off. That would have been a great send-off. Unfortunately, unable to redirect it, but I say, you know, we've looked better on set pieces than even against, lower opposition sides during the fall season. And we just got to hold our line here. And the referee has his whistle. blows for full time. BYU Cougar fans, pleasure to join you. Earlier than expected, but a most welcome, premature start to our commentary for this 2022 season here at Southfield. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you to our fans for joining us live. And we saw a very strong first half performance, a little bit more of a letdown in the second half, but understandably, a second less familiar, intrafamiliar, pardon me, and experienced side is coming out, and they held their own. But there are definitely things to improve on, and as we're trying to get yet another national championship. Andrew?
Yeah, definitely. I think you summed it up perfectly. BYU will take this as a learning experience. You need to be sharp in the last 10 minutes of the game. I don't care how tired you are. You got to dig in and just want it. It's just grit at that point. So it's been an excellent night here on Southfield, and we bid you adieu.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Have a phenomenal weekend, and we will see you in the fall season. Scheduled to be announced. Stay tuned by following at BYU Soccer on Instagram, at BYU Soccer on Twitter, and BYU Soccer on Facebook. In the meantime, we will see you soon, Cougar fans.